Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Rose Tarot and Astrology. I am your host, Mel Rose, and today is Monday, August 12th, 2024. I feel so blessed and happy to be here with you this morning to get to spend this time with you. As you can see, it's a beautiful morning here in Lee's Summit, Missouri. And wherever you are, whoever you are, I hope that you are feeling happy and well this morning. I thank you so much for joining me. Well, before I get into the astrology, I want to remind you that I'm giving a class through Nadia Shah's Synchronicity University coming up on Saturday, September 7th. And the class is about using the information from our natal chart, especially about our moon sign and placement, and using the information about what the moon is doing out there right now to help navigate our private lives and create a comfortable set of circumstances for ourselves. You know, the moon is always changing, so we're kind of always having to adjust our strategy and reset our comfort within the home and our private lives. And I think that's important. So I hope you'll join me for the class. Again, it's on Saturday, September 7th through Nadia Shah, Synchronicity University. I think the link will be down in the description. Otherwise, you can just look it up on Google. You'll see my beautiful face there. You can sign up for my class for as little as $5 a class. There are 5 teachers, so they're going to ask you for $25 if you go for the $5 rate, and you're going to get a whole bunch of learning and insight into astrology, especially as it relates to the home this time. So I hope you'll join me for that. So today the sun is in Leo and the moon is a waxing half moon in Scorpio. So Leo and Scorpio, these are both fixed signs, so it's very much we're in the game, we're on the job, we know what our purpose is, and we're working the problem, or we're working the job. Okay, we're in the thick of it, and we're just going to keep going, right? The waxing half moon represents a bit of a transition, though, from sort of creating and planning and idealizing and just laying out our plan to move forward to accomplish things in time for that full moon, so we can pat ourselves on the back and say, hey, well done, I did it. The waxing half moon is the time when we stop planning and kind of move into action. So Scorpio moon, this is a great time for it, for making moves. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and Mars loves to make moves. So if you want to get started on something, today is the day. Even though Mercury is retrograde, and you know, we always say with Mercury retrograde, you know, that we need to be careful about making big starts on things, because the plan might change in a few weeks. Okay, but just make sure you have all your questions answered, and make sure you understand what the plan is going forward. Make sure you are communicating clearly with your co-conspirators, with your co-workers, with the people you have at home, about what the plan is, so that you can all be on the same page as you're moving forward. So that's today. There's not very much happening. It's just the sun in Leo and that waxing half moon in Scorpio saying, you know, let's go ahead and get this job done. Let's keep working toward our goals. Now, coming up on Wednesday, and I just have to say, this week and next week in astrology are perhaps the 2 wackiest weeks of the entire year. Okay, so there is a lot going on, and this week and next week, if there's something that feels like it's too much, if you feel like you're being asked to take on a lot, you may want to think about what you're prioritizing and what you're deprioritizing. You may want to think about the things that can wait, allowing them to wait, okay? Because coming up on Wednesday, we have Mercury in an adjustment, quincunx vibration with Pluto, which is our transformational energy. And here's Mercury moving retrograde in Virgo, and then Pluto comes in, and Pluto's sort of off around the corner a little bit, so that Mercury can't really see what the transformations are that are trying to be worked right now, right? And Pluto has a habit of just coming along sometimes and saying, this isn't where I thought you would be by now, so I'm just going to pick you up and move you over here, okay? And I just have a feeling that it might be like that. So sometimes this is kind of a best laid plans don't always come to fruition sort of vibe coming up on Wednesday, and I just want you to be aware of that. Also on Wednesday, Mars is going to conjunct Jupiter in the sky, they're going to align. They're going to look like they're occupying the same place in the sky at the same time. And that's Mars and Jupiter combined under pressure for us. Okay, so Mars is our assertiveness, it's our action taking, it's our motivation, whereas Jupiter expands everything it touches. It's very positive, it's very beneficial, but it kind of blows things up. Okay, it just makes them bigger. So Mars conjunct with Jupiter, this can be, you know, assertiveness blowing up into, you know, a lot of effectiveness, or it could be assertiveness blowing up into aggression. Okay, so we need to watch our Marsy moods, right? Some of us are a little more marzipans than others. Some of us get frustrated or angry very easily, and with Jupiter in that combination, even though Jupiter is benefic and it is positive, it can make our Mars tendency, whatever it is in your life, in your body, in your astrology chart, it can make your Mars tendency just tend to get bigger. So watch out for that. Okay, we want to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves on Wednesday. And then also on Wednesday, Mercury is going to retrograde itself back up into Leo. Now, I said that I wasn't very worried about Mercury retrograde in Virgo, and I really didn't feel that worried about it, because in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo is at home. It's very happy there, and it's also very much already a like checking your work before you move forward kind of vibe. So Mercury retrograde in Virgo is like, okay, double check your work before you move forward, right? But Mercury retrograde in Leo is a different thing. Okay, that's Mercury retrograde in a fire sign instead of an earth sign. And I just have this feeling like, again, a potential for flare-ups, a potential for, you know, not speaking to ourselves or others in a way that is kind, a potential for impatience to come across, like we want things to move quickly, but they're actually slowing down on us. And so look for sparks in your conversation. Listen to the way that you're talking to yourself. If you're coming down hard on yourself, or if you're burning yourself in some way, you know, please try to mellow that out, right? And then the other thing about Mercury retrograde in Leo is, you know, you want to compare like the intention to the outcome. When it comes to what you're doing or what anybody else has tried to do, you know, an outcome, you know, an intention and an outcome, they should kind of match up. They should align, right? To see if you were successful, or the person that you're talking to or dealing with was successful. You want to say, okay, this is what happened. You know, what was the intention here? Okay, we want to be looking at that and really paying attention when we are working our problems, when we are working our projects, when we are working our plans, to be mindful of what the intention was, so that the outcome can be aligned with it. Okay, Thursday, also a whole bunch of stuff coming up, but the sun is going to have this beautiful trine to Chiron. It's a real opportunity for healing to be illuminated, like something can be shown to us that allows us to grow and heal some. And Mars is going to be square to Saturn that day, and then on Sunday, Mercury is going to be square to Uranus. The sun is conjunct Mercury. Venus is going to square off with Jupiter. Next week we have a full moon and the sun moving into Virgo, and a whole bunch of other stuff happening. So again, wacky couple of weeks ahead of us. Today it feels a little bit like the calm before the storm. It also just feels like we can get some material things done before the storm hits. Okay, so whatever it is that you need to batten down or bring inside, I'm thinking in terms of the rain that we had here last night, but whatever it is that you need to get in order, or to make sure it is secure before this before these changes that we're going to go through for the next couple of weeks. The energy of this vibe is very challenging and changing. It's very conflicting, which, you know, conflict isn't for no reason. It helps us grow, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's always very fun, right? So be prepared, all right? And what I would say is, remember to come back to grounding, right? If you ground by sitting, you'll sit down and you'll feel your butt in the seat and your feet on the ground. Or if you ground by laying down or by standing in the grass, or whatever it is that you do, feel the way gravity has an effect on your body, and notice that you are not going to fall off of the earth, okay? Be connected to the ground. If you feel frustrated, if you feel overwhelmed, stop, retreat, take some deep breaths, prepare yourself before you go back out, okay? That is the guidance that I have. And I'm going to be here with you. I'll come back on Wednesday and we'll talk about Wednesday and Thursday and Sunday again and next week. So I will be out here with you to help guide you through this along the way. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate your presence. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please go ahead and click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will look forward to talking to you again on Wednesday.